Hey, hello and welcome everybody. I'm duckyobrien, and today I'll be covering We Stay Behind. We Stay Behind was developed by Backwoods Entertainment and Application Systems Heidelberg. It was published by Application Systems Heidelberg. It'll be coming out soon, and I don't have any pricing information for you guys. Anyways, I do like the publisher. They have some very nice aesthetic indie titles that look really nice. I think Luna was one of their games. Let me take a quick look. Oh, Ghost on the Shore, Sonority, which is a pretty nice puzzle game. Like Dr. Whipra. Metropolis was pretty good. Luna the Shadow Dust was one of the first games I covered. I remember. Good memories. Okay, why don't we get into it? This is like a interactive narrative. So you play the role of a reporter investigating a town. I think there's like an asteroid or something coming down and it's gonna wipe out the town, but these guys are choosing to stay. And your job is to find out why. There does seem to be a hint of some supernatural things occurring, maybe some conspiracy. I covered a demo a while back. This is updated. They sent me an email and be like, hey, we updated the demo, would you like to cover it? I'm like, sure. Okay. There's a lot of reading, a bit of forewarning. Also, this game, for some reason, maxes out my GPU. I have a 2070 Super, which is, I guess, not so good compared to all the rich techies who have like 4090s and stuff, but this GPU is more than enough for me. But recently there have been games that are pushing it to 100% due to it being unoptimized. Okay. Please call me Maggie. I wonder if like the choices affect the ending or parts of the narrative. Because it seems to be like there's a layer of suspicion towards the townsfolk, depending on considering the narrative choices you can pick, the dialogue choices. Okay. So I don't remember what the demo was like, but there are segments where you talk to a psychiatrist, I think. So this might be all flashbacks. This is a very chill game. I can already tell a lot of people are gonna be bored straight away because unless they're doing some tedious micro task that puts you on a content treadmill, they feel like they're not quote unquote doing anything. It's kind of a weird contradiction because you're doing a super meaningless repetitive task and you're willing to spend hundreds of thousands of hours doing it, but a game where you might have to read dialogue for like a couple minutes at a time, it's too much, you know? It's a little bit sad because, you know, people don't like reading books anymore. They have to listen to it. They have to listen to an audiobook, which isn't the same as reading it yourself. But yeah, it's the day and age we live in. Some interesting posters I didn't even notice before. I do like the little sound effects they put in. If you didn't notice, like Maggie dusting off her hands, and then the little, I don't know if you guys heard in the recording, but the little clinking of the mixing the tea and everything together. I notice these things because I would like to eventually make a game one of these days, and every little thing that you add into the game takes time and effort and consideration. And the hard part about making a game is when you do things right, people cannot tell. But see, this is what I mean. You can be honest, evasive, or blunt. So let's just be honest. When you do things well in a video game, people can't tell because it feels right. But when you do things wrong, people can immediately tell. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And that's the hard part. Like, you know, previously I covered Trapane 2 where they're reusing assets. In this game, there's a lot more individual assets. I don't know if they were made specifically for the game. I don't know if they purchased it from an asset store. Either way, there's way more attention to detail going into the design of the set pieces. So a couple ideas of games I want to make. Another thing too, I get this a lot where people will say I got an idea for something, and you know, they're like, you know, like, can you help me make it? And the thing I always tell them is, if I'm doing most of the work, I'm gonna get most of the money, because having an idea isn't the same as having a finished product. Anyone can have an idea. It's just a general feel. When you try to turn an idea into concrete aspects of a game or video, music, whatever it is, it's very different. You can have the same idea, two people can have the same idea, but the implementation of that idea can be vastly different. So it's a reality, and I know this because I tried making things, you know, from idea to finished product. It's a very difficult process. It's not an easy thing. So, like, for example, let's say you have an idea for like a first-person shooter. It's like, okay, what are the damage numbers for your weapons? Like, what's the firing rate? Like, how are you gonna make the sound effects for the bullets coming out? You know, getting hit. How are you gonna do the hit detection? Like, there's so many small things to consider that you don't really think about if you never made a game before. And when you start making it, you're like, oh my god, I have to think of all these things. Not only that, you have to make it feel good. So that general vague idea you had is meaningless without that implementation of that idea. Like, how are you going to implement that idea? Like, what are the specifics? So if someone just gives me like a one sentence idea, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna reject it. I'm like, give me a design document. Give me a document with the specifics, and then we'll talk about me, you know, helping you make that stuff. Otherwise, I'm gonna be doing all the work, like literally all the work, and you know, I don't want to do all the work and then give someone else the money because they're like, I came up with the idea. So like, no thank you, no thank you. Design document please. Show me something, like you show me you have a concrete idea and I'll be willing to help you as a partner. I had people like that ever since I was young, when they're like, hey, can you make a web store for me? And I'm like, okay, but if I'm gonna take care of everything, like I want half of the profits, you know? Like if I'm gonna drive traffic to the web store, like if I'm doing everything where like I don't even need you, you know, if I'm being polite, like if I don't need you to do this thing, like they're like, they offer me like a couple $100. I was like, no. no. Anyways, here's the psychiatrist part. So, and you know, same person where they're like, you know, hey, can you be a YouTube editor for me and stuff? And I was like, you know, it's the same person. I was like, bro, if I'm gonna build your channel, Like you don't have you don't have clout right now. If I'm gonna build you that clout, because that's what I'll do for you, you need to give me a percentage. Like if you have something that I gave you that you didn't have before and you don't treat it with much value, then I'm not interested in working with that person because they don't know how difficult it is to build anything. But yeah. Okay, so now we can go to the map. You can just fast travel around places. See, not everything is unlocked. I recall doing a lot more driving in the older version of the demo. This guy's kind of rude. But as I mentioned, there's a comment coming, and people are choosing to stay here, so finding out why. Inexplicable. Yeah, something about headaches and getting acclimated to the place because of weird energy. So I remember that from the demo last time. Let's see. The visitor center was open, but nobody was around. So you know what this reminds me of? Alan Wake. That one scene where in the... Is it the visitor center and then T-Rex comes in to attack you? So before I learn about Vicky. See, there's like mystery to this. There's a little bit of drama, some intrigue, some like a little bit of something sinister possibly in the background. You know, that's the vibe you get. Like something's wrong. Something feels wrong. Okay. That's a good question. Why are people boarding up houses if they ain't coming back? Kinda hype for Alan Wake 2 to come out. Looks very cozy. I would totally love to live in a quiet place like this, because all I need is internet. All I need to be happy is internet. Well, food would be nice too. I like Japanese food. Korean food. Actually, I like every type of food. I will like... Sometimes, you know, I feel like eating a burrito. Sometimes I feel like eating sushi, you know. Anyways, wait, I was here before, right? Yeah, I think I was here before. Okay. There's some Polish places near me too that are pretty dope. My dad used to like eating these pierogies that he would get frozen at the grocery, but there's some places that make fresh pierogies. I've only been to one place one time. I'd like to go back. Okay. There's Vicky. Also, I think it was in... Is this German? Vermistan... Tenanzeig. Zeiga? I don't know if I'm reading it correctly. I did take like a couple years of German in high school, but I learned all wrong, so... I found out because I was streaming No Man's Sky maybe 4 years ago, and I saw a bunch of people from Germany drop by, and you know, I was sharing, oh, this is what I learned, and they're like, you learned it incorrectly, and I was like, oh, well, that is unfortunate. So I remember my teacher was Herr Larson. And then what we learned is, you know, I can't I don't speak German, or like I speak a little bit, right? And then they're like, this is how I got taught. Ich spreche nicht Deutsch, right? And they're like, well, that's grammatically incorrect. You're saying you're unable to speak German. You're supposed to say ich spreche keine Deutsch. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess everything I learned was a lie. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Herr Larson. But yeah, so I was like, oh man. Anyways, I know my pronunciation is terrible. I mean, I don't really practice German. It's been many years since I, you know, spoken it at all. And apparently what I learned was all incorrect, so. Okay, let's see if I can get in the car. I thought you could drive. Anyways. Oh, that's definitely buggy. Sit and read. Okay. I recall someone working, like sawing something, and I feel like you could talk to them and they were kind of cold, but... Yeah. See if we can't sit and read here. Okay. Yeah, going back to what I was talking about earlier, it may seem a little bit harsh, but like if someone came up to me and they're like, I'm gonna give you pennies to do this work, and if I ask the question like, do I even need you to do this? Then if the answer is no, I expect to get paid more than pennies. It's just the reality of how things are. Because you know, I've most of my life I was the guy who did all the work because no one wanted to. So you know, school projects I would do everything. It's not necessarily that I wanted to do everything. I or didn't want to. I didn't mind it, but it's just like okay, no one wants to do any work. Fine, I'll do everything then. Y'all can't complain with what I do. No one did though, because I usually did a pretty okay job at that OCD energy. You know, I don't really have OCD, but okay. Um, I forgot where to go next. Why can't I drive the car? Like a. I remember driving. Whatever. Guess I'll just walk then. Oh, there we go. I forgot to visit that place. Yeah, alright. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, okay. The game does look very pretty. Again, it uses a lot of my GPU though. Again, referring to something supernatural, mystical happening. Sasquatch. I like how that guy has been in the same pose this entire time. I kind of want to build a house on my own. I know I wouldn't do a good job, but I would want help. Couple things I would like to do, like I would love to have my room soundproof because I like to make a lot of content and I don't want to disturb anybody. Also wired Ethernet in every room. Kind of want a totally off the grid house, like have my own little mini water tower and my own sewage system that drains out into a swamp. You know, solar panels, battery bank. That one, it's not gonna last forever, so I'm gonna have to replace the batteries and solar panels every decade or so. Now the internet is gonna be a little bit difficult. If you are completely off grid, maybe something like Starlink satellite internet would do. For water storage, like I'm not entirely sure how you make your own system. I know a lot of people have their own well, and then they have a pump that pumps water into the house. A lot of people use solar energy or a generator, a gas generator. I don't think I would need a lot of electricity other than when I'm using my PC and keeping the lights on in the house and then the refrigerator. If it's cool enough, you don't need AC. If you're living in a really hot area, then you would need AC. Looks kind of creepy to be honest. Mustang can see. Lady Macbeth. It's super creepy. That's also only one hand, not the other hand. Yeah, it's kind of weird, bruh. It's kind of weird. Getting some vibes here. So yeah, I think they did a great job with the set pieces. Each place feels a little bit different. Feels like they put a lot of effort into it. Okay. Oh, there you go. Now we drive. Yeah, I remember. I know this is supposed to feel cinematic, but the fact that I can't... Oh, there we go. Alright. I thought you couldn't change the camera. I was like, this is gonna be a very hard to drive. I think I made the same mistake when I played it the first time. I thought you couldn't change the camera angle. Pretty sure the demo ends here, if I recall correctly. I don't remember. Maybe not. Also, I think I talked to this guy in the previous demo. I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember this part at all. Come with me if you want to leave. It's kind of very funny how you walk faster than the NPCs. and then so it's like you do this game of trying to not not walk faster than them, but what angle would be better? I think that something like this would look more cinematic. I like how he just has pie and coffee out already. What's the reason? Is the Sasquatch after you? maybe they don't get a lot of good vibrations. I think I remember this from the last demo, or is it the... everything's kind of mashed together in my mind in terms of memory. I cover so many games that they start kind of bleeding into another. Tell me what you see. What's in the box? What's in the box? Some things are hard to put into words, like these nuts. I like how the music's kind of building up in the backgrounds, creating a sense of unease and tension. Something in the water, like old Nessie? Loch Ness Monster? Is he a time traveler? Alternate dimensions? I know a kook when I meet one, and you, sir, are not a kook. Ah, not the pie. Not the pie. You can't help us. You can't help. Okay. It's Maggie's fault. Is that he shouldn't have talked. He shouldn't have spilled the beans. That's what you get. We stay behind. Coming soon to theaters near you. See, there's like a undercurrent of like creepiness. Something sinister lurking behind everyone's smiling face. Alright, well that's it. I remember the original demo, you actually driving the car around a little bit, talking to some, I think talking to some dude out in the woods. Anyways, the game is We Stay Behind. It's gonna be coming out soon. And anyways, hopefully this gave you guys an idea what the game is like. You got a lot of reading, so I know that's gonna turn people off. I'm not entirely sure if they're gonna have voice acted dialogue. This is just a demo. So it's the game in its earliest phase. I don't know. I know other games published by these dudes have voice acting, but we'll see. Alright, I am curious myself. I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's going on. But yeah, there you have it. Hopefully this gave you guys an idea what the game is like. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. If you have any questions, comments, you know, suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, hope you guys are staying safe and sane out there. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you guys next time.